What's up, everybody? It's your boy DaLion here with BW Sports One, and we are here with another episode of Combat Zone, powered by Carma Coin. Check out the cryptocurrency that gives away to charities and gives you a chance to win supercars. KarmaCoin.co today. Elite Performance 765-499-1005, where the dream of elite fitness becomes a reality. Call Zach today and get started on your journey. Revved Up Tattoos, 317-537-2667. Book your next ink therapy session with our boy Todd over at Revved Up Tattoos. You won't be disappointed. BaumBurgers, that's right, 7960 US 31 South in Indianapolis. Famous for steak burgers, but they are the bomb. BeeLit Organics, our girl Brittany Carreno has got all the natural products, phenomenal feeling, soaps, bath salts, candles, you name it, she's got it. BeeLit Organics.
Round one, fight.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DaLion with Combat Zone here again. And this episode, we have one very special guest. That's right, folks, the boss of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Mr. David Feldman. How we doing, my man?
What's going on, Dan? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Great to be here on BW Sports, man.
We appreciate your time. Now, since that you've never been on here, we're popping your cherry here at Combat Zone. So kind of give the viewers and the listeners here at BW Sports One a little bit of background as far as where your career has been in the combat sports world.
Yeah, man. I was basically born into combat sports. My father is a Hall of Fame boxing trainer, trained 7 world champions. My mother got injured at a very young age, so my dad kind of raised us with all the fighters living in our house as a training camp. So we had everybody that you could imagine in our house. It was kind of crazy growing up. Kind of inevitable that I ended up in combat sports, but I went to college. I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to Temple University. And then while I was in Temple, my brother was training for a professional fight, one of his fights. And I obviously always trained my entire life, fought amateur. And then he got injured and I'm like, I'll fight. So I fought. I won a first round knockout and then went on to have subsequent 14 more fights. Did really really good. Only lost 1 fight, but just business was my thing. So I got into the bar business. Owned a couple of bars, and it was just the magnet was pulling me, man. So I got back into combat sports. Started promoting professional boxing. Then I went out to Arizona and promoted a lot of boxing out there at some casinos out there. It was going phenomenal. Came back to Pennsylvania, was the first show in Pennsylvania to promote a mixed martial arts event, and then just really just went on from there and promoted my first attempt at a bare knuckle fight was August 5th, 2011 in Arizona. I did one of those and just started continuing promoting mixed martial arts while I was trying to get bare knuckle legalized. And then, as everybody knows, June 2nd of 2018, it was history.
Well, and, speaking of history, let's talk a little bit about the evolution of this sport that we call bare knuckle, the fastest growing sport in the world. From obviously you're going back to the 1800s where, the start of it came. Obviously, it's probably been before that, in the old Coliseum and stuff like that, where they actually fought hand-to-hand combat. But once it was brought back, kind of give us the synopsis of what was happening, transpiring over the past decade or so since this has kind of evolved back into combat sports.
I just went out to all these different states. I did an event, like I said, August 5th, 2011. Sold it out, 5,500 people in attendance, and we only had 1 bare knuckle fight on it. The rest was MMA fights. We streamed it on this one streaming platform. It did almost 700,000 people attempted to log in. It was very, very inexpensive, but the paywall crashed, so we didn't get paid. But we were like, man, this is something. I can't believe how many people are on this. So I went around from state to state to state, some of them multiple times, 28 states in total. Probably, ended up pitching 40 times, 50 times. And finally, like I said, June 2nd, 2018, we got legalized. We got to bring bare knuckle back, into where it belongs, into the mainstream. The first legal, sanctioned, and regulated bare knuckle fighting promotion in the world happened June 2nd, 2018. It was, a tremendous honor to be in Wyoming to do that and to be able to put on these great fights. It was a historic night, trending #1 on Twitter. Everybody in the world was talking about this event. And we just, went on to do these 20 subsequent events. And here we are at BKFC 20 next Friday. BKFC 20. It's hard for me to imagine. But this thing is going so fast. We're working so hard that, now it's like instead of October, November, December, it's like BKFC 22, BKFC 23, BKFC 24. It's going crazy, but it's doing great, man. And I'm happy where it's going now, because this is really truly the purest form of combat sports that there is. There's nothing else. I mean, the other thing that I always talk about is the reason why I think this has the possibility of being the biggest combat sport in the world is it's more adaptable to the main person, the common person in the world, because everybody, I don't care if you're 4 years old, 5 years old, 90 years old, you either have been in or know or watched a fist fight. So this is just a fist fight with very well-schooled professional combat sport athletes with some different rules and regulations, but it's so adaptable to everybody. And I think that's why everybody can really fall in love with this.
And you say adaptable. Now it's kind of on the fence with certain people. You either, in the casual fan, I should say, it either they love it or it's too gory for them and they're not used to it. But once the useness wears in, I think it's going to really demonstrate where it's going to be at here in the next couple of years.
I agree so much, Dan. It's like, if you're a real combat sports fan, not just a jiu-jitsu guy, and I don't mean anything against jiu-jitsu guys, but if you're a real combat sports guy, like you like fights, you have to like this. When you watch it live and you're in person and watching it live, it's just a whole different world, and it opens up everything to you. So, it's not for everybody, but who it's for, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I can't disagree with that wholeheartedly, sir. Let's kind of talk about some of the names that you've been throwing out there. One has just recently signed on, was Chad Mendes.
Yep.
I know you guys are working on some other people coming up. We don't want to throw the cat out of the bag to ruin any opportunities you got, but let's talk about Chad for one. Getting him in. How did that feel, and how did that kind of work out?
Yeah, I mean, we talked for a while. He was in left field, I was in right field. We were in two different places, but we were talking to his team for a while. We have another couple guys on his car on Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship on our roster that train a Team Alpha Male with him, and it was inevitable. It happened. We got to negotiate the proper number, and it happened. And here he is. He's going to make his debut on October 22nd in Arizona, in Chandler, Arizona on October 22nd. Opponent should be announced next week. We're working on two different guys, pretty well-known guys as well. So, look, man, he looks sensational hitting the pads. He looks really, really good right now in training. But, let's see how he looks when he gets cracked with a bare knuckle. I suspect that he's going to do very, very well. He's a tough dude. He's been one of the elite fighters in the UFC for a long time. So I expect big things from Chad Mendes. He's got a great team out there, and we're just looking to really grow with these guys.
Now, I know in the past you mentioned not necessarily a partnership with UFC, but allowing their fighters to come in. That Chad, I think, still had one fight on his contract with the UFC. The UFC is allowing him to come over. Can you tell us anything more about that situation that you guys got going on with UFC and Bellator fighters?
I mean, it's just, the big thing I like to pride ourselves on is we just stay in our own lane. Like, there's other bare knuckle companies out there, mixed martial arts companies, boxing companies. They talk a lot of smack on us, a lot of shit on us.
You can say whatever. Yeah, you can drop the S word. It's okay.
They talk a lot of shit on us. And you know what? At the end of the day, we just stay in our lane. And that's why we're building as fast as we're building, because we're minding our own business. And that's why we were able to work with the UFC, because, their guy said, their main guy there said, not Dana White, but the guy under him said, look, you guys stay in your own lane. You don't talk shit about us. You know, you do your own thing. So if we can work with you, we will. Actually, Chad has 4 fights left on his contract. So
Okay.
you know, he's deep in his contract. So, you know, it was great. And Beck Rawlings, we were able to use her again. She's going to fight again in October, and she's still under contract. Although you might have read that she wasn't, but she still is under contract with Bellator. So, you know, I guess it's just doing the right thing, minding your own business, staying in your lane, and building what we're building. You know, I don't really consider us competition to Bellator or UFC or even boxing. We're different. We're just completely different. I think it's something that can be added in addition to everything else that's out there. I think it's something that's fun. It's exciting. It's, you know, it's brutal. It's different. So I think there's room for us, boxing and mixed martial arts.
I agree. As a fan of combat sports overall, I like every bit of it.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention a female's name in Beck Rawlings. The next question I had, is there anything new and exciting to talk about this wonderful women's division in this tournament that's coming up?
I mean, we're working on it right now. We're working on a tournament. We're just trying to see who's going to be in and who's going to be out. We actually just signed a bunch of more girls right now that are, you know, this women's division is really, really heating up. Probably in about a week or so, we'll be able to have that structured and be able to announce that. But I definitely want to crown a women's BKFC world champion. I think it's very, very important too now because, you know, they're not only a part of these shows, but they're carrying some of the shows right now. So they deserve to have someone be crowned and have a champion. And we're working on that right now. So, you know, again, next couple of weeks, once it's just whether we're going to do 4 girls or 8 girls. I would like to do a 4-girl tournament, but I think there's too many girls that deserve at least a chance at this. So, you know, it might have to be an 8-girl tournament. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but we're definitely going to announce that and hopefully start that one on October 22nd as well.
Okay. Now, when you came out with the dates, the first time you talked about it, you said something about the first round in October, second round in November, and just me thinking about it, it's like, man, if one of the girls gets a medical suspension from the athletic commission, I don't know
No,
if
well,
they'd be able to get it.
I think I kind of meant like if we did 8 girls, we do 2 fights maybe in October, 2 fights in
Okay.
November, and then the following year, you know, obviously February, March, do the second round of that, and then have the championship make that be a big special attraction match. So you know, we can't have them fight that soon, man. Look, anything happens here. We have some guys scheduled to fight in September, but they're fighting in November, and we're just not sure if it's right because they break their hand. Anything can happen here. So we're just trying to be protected. But no, it's going to be great, man. I mean, we're adding a lot of women right now. I literally signed 7 women yesterday. I signed 2 the day before, and I'm supposed to sign a couple more today. So, you know, the women are proving to us that, you know, some of them are not just very attractive, but they can fight their asses off too. I mean, they're carrying some of these shows. Look at the way Taylor Starling looked. Look at the way Britton Hart looked her last fight. Look at the way Rachel Ostovich and Paige Van Zandt showed out. So, you know, these girls are you know, girls that if you walk down the street, you know, you would be like, there's no way in the world these girls fight bare knuckle.
Do you think we could see a Rachel Ostovich Pearl Gonzalez matchup? Because I think that would be one hell of a show.
I mean, that's absolutely possible. You know, they're all in the mix. Pearl Gonzalez, I'm sorry, I forgot her name when we were talking about that, but she's another one. She's fighting again in November in Miami. I mean, she came, she brought it. She really wants to be big in BKFC. So, I mean, look, it can all happen, right? It can all happen. We'll just see how we're going to plan this tournament and see how we can move this thing along, because the good thing about it from the promotion's sake is Pearl Gonzalez, Taylor Starling, Britton Hart, Beck Rawlings,
Rachel
Ostovich, Paige Van Zandt, they can all be superstars.
Mm-hmm.
But they all have superstar quality. So, and then other ones as well. But Christine Fiora, they can all be superstars. They can all have that star quality. But at the same time, it's you know, we're going to see who the best one is. This is how we're going to do it. We'll narrow it down, and then we'll keep these girls moving.
Well, let me ask you a question. You brought up her name, Christine Fiora, and there was a lot of speculation of why she was headlining Toe the Line instead of an actual BKFC card. Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, the only reason why I wanted to do that is I wanted to get her busy, and I didn't want to put her down low on the card. I wanted to make sure that she was featured, and I thought that was a good way of doing that. But we're probably going to twist that up and just have her fight in October on the BKFC card. We're actually announcing we're doing our first show, I forgot to mention when I was talking about these shows, our first show is October 9th in Billings, Montana. So that'll be our first show in Montana. She could be definitely a good feature or co-feature. We're going to have Joe Riggs on that card. And then October 22nd, again, like I said, Chad Mendes, Beck Rawlings in Arizona, in the Phoenix area. So it's going to be great. And then I saw Taylor Starling pop on for a second. She's going to be back probably in November. I know she probably wants to fight sooner, but I think it just makes sense for us to put her on. We're having a huge card in November 12th in Miami. It's going to be a really, really big card. Some special matchups, but that was the reason for Christine Feora. It was nothing against Christine. I didn't want to like hide her down deep on a card. So I said, look, let's feature her on this one. But I think I don't really want to mix BKFC into the line right now. So I'm just going to keep her on BKFC.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So now we know that the showcase showdown, or the whatever they call it, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but it was entertaining. And we all know that you said after that, this is bare knuckle. It was fun. It was a good experience, but this is bare knuckle. So the next time you guys have something like that, it is going to be with no pillows on. There's not going to be anything. If they want to do it, it's going to be bare knuckle, right?
100%, man. Look, it worked. I mean, some of the fans may not have liked it, but the additional fans that came in, it worked for us. But it's not right for our platform. I mean, we're building something special here with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and we don't need to do the gimmicks. We did it just because it was approached to me, and I'm like, yeah, let's throw it on. It's not like we went out and searched for it. Like, we're not like desperate and saying, what else is going to draw here? We didn't need it. But it ended up, look, we had an unfortunate incident. We had a little brawl in the ring that went viral, and, hundreds of millions of people saw the footage. So it worked from that standpoint, but it's not going to, we're bare knuckle all the way through and through. It's just bare knuckle, not mixed martial arts, not anything else. We're Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, stand-up fights only. That's what we are, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Well, somebody mentioned in the comments here, Christine should rematch Helen Peralta. Is Helen doing anything? Is she talking about a comeback? Is there any talks on getting Helen back into BKFC?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Helen a lot, but I pay fighters good, and I give them what I feel they're valued at, and I offered her some good money. And she turned it down, and she wanted just money that was just way out of the ballpark right now. It was probably, I don't know, quadruple what she was making before. So it just didn't work for us. I would love to have Helen back. If we can work something out, I would love. I mean, if I said I didn't want Helen back, I'd be a real asshole, because she fought one of the best fights we've ever had. So I would love to have Helen back, and Helen versus Christine in a rematch would be phenomenal. So we're going to see if we can work that out. I know she really wants to focus on mixed martial arts right now. She's at a great gym in Philadelphia right now. Actually, one of the guys I really know Will Martinez with Martinez MMA and BJJ. So he's I think she's going to focus on that. But if she wants to come back, absolutely, man. There's a lot of great matchups. I mean, there's so many pro boxers that are coming over right now, especially the women's division from overseas that are really coming over. We have a call today with former women's world champion. We're actually talking to the #1 women's fighter in the world next week. So there's a lot of really good things happening in the women's division, and really in all the divisions for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And it's just growing. And I like to see other promotions do what they do, because that supports it as long as they're doing it professional. We saw some good promotions come out and burn the fighters, and then we saw some other ones out now that you were at a couple of them, I believe, that are doing a good job. They're putting on good fights. They're treating the guys right, and that's only going to make people watch bare knuckle more.
So on that aspect, I got to ask the question, because I am a fan of the sport overall. Can you ever see you and I'll name drop the BYB working together to kind of maybe like a unification of titles, or in bare knuckle, or anything like that at all?
No, I don't think so. I think we're going to stick to the UFC type of model for that. We're going to do our own thing, and look, I wish them luck. Some of our contracted fighters fight for them. I don't give them problems. So, like I said, as long as people are doing a great job production-wise, paying the fighters, doing the right thing, putting on great fights. Hats off to them, and I like to see other people succeed as well. So it's great for us. But no, I think we're just going to stay in our lane like we always do. We just stay in our lane. We do our own thing. We don't need help from other people, and we don't want to really, ask for help. So we're just going to do our own thing and put on a great product. But again, great people, good organization, good fighters to fight for them. So I'm happy to see that there's somebody else out there doing some good things.
And like you said, it's doing nothing but escalating the sport of bare knuckle to
Yeah,
where it needs to be.
as long as they're doing the right thing, and they are. So as long as they're doing the right thing, like we saw an organization that came out right after I did my first event. They burned everybody. They didn't pay anybody. And bare knuckle was so new at that point where people were going, we would advertise our next show, and they're going, how the fuck are you guys doing a show? You just fucking ripped off everybody. And we're like, it's not us. They're like, yeah, it was bare knuckle. I said, no, it wasn't us. It was a different organization. So like I said, as long as they put on good fights, especially good fights, keep the fighters safe, pay them decent. Not to pay them crazy, pay them decent, treat them right, and do good production. It only elevates and boosts the sport of bare knuckle fighting in general.
I agree. I like it.
Yep.
All right. So we have a big announcement going on today. We just were working out some figures. We were working out the details and everything the past few days, and we finally have it set. So, David, if you would like to make the announcement that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, man, we got a formal partnership right now with Carma Coin. We have some mutual working relationships that I think is gonna really blast this thing off. I'm not here to sell the coin at all, so don't take my financial advice. I'm not a crypto guy on that respect. But I know that the guys that are on the inside of this thing and think that this thing is just going to really, really shoot in the next 3 months. So if you're into it, grab it. It's a great coin. They do charitable contributions. They're giving away these unbelievable exotic sports cars at some different things. We're actually giving away one at our November 12th event in Miami. It's going to be amazing partnership with Carma Coin. You guys have always, you introduced me to them, whoever these guys are. Behind the scenes, Scott and everybody, great guys. Always, they deliver and they're doing the right thing. So I would check out Carma Coin. Definitely check out. It's karmacoin.co, right?
Correct.
Karmacoin.co. So check that out. Definitely, it's going to be our moving forward. It'll be our exclusive crypto partnership, and it's something that I'm getting more schooled on, and I think you should as well. Everybody out there, the Carma Coin is going to be something. If you're into Karma at all, if you're into crypto at all, grab Carma Coin. It's definitely going to go to the moon.
And I would just like to add that, and because Scott put me up to this, so if you get mad, beat his ass, and I'll beat his ass with you. But the partnership was made via the token itself.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yep.
It
was. It was. So we did our partnership again. Like I said, I'm not and I don't mean to say it the wrong thing, but I know this is how they describe it. I'm not a crypto nerd. I don't know much about crypto, but I know that from my guys, look, to be successful in anything in the world, you surround yourself with people that do know the things you don't know. And I surrounded myself with one of the best guys around. Bruno is so super smart in the crypto field, and he told me some of the things that are going on behind the scene with Karma. So I actually accepted the partnership on Karma Coin only, and I'm very confident that I'm going to be really happy in about 3 to 4 months from now.
You and me both, brother, and everybody else. If you're not on board, you better jump on the train now.
Absolutely.
All right, before we let you go, we got to take you through Rapid Knockout. It's a segment that I do with everybody on the show. It's 5 questions that has absolutely zero to do with the fight world, and you can elaborate on answers if you'd like, as much as you'd like. Are you ready, brother?
I am ready.
First question: favorite food?
Italian food, without a doubt.
Okay. What do you like? The white sauce, red sauce? What are you liking?
I like angel hair with red sauce. With red sauce, that's my favorite meal in the world. It's just so simple, but I've always liked it.
Well, I tell you what, when you make your way here to Indianapolis, you and I are going to go out to eat at Napoli Villa. It is the best Italian restaurant around here. They've been open since 1962, having their 60th anniversary next year, and it's a wonderful place. Fantastic food.
Awesome, my man. Thank you. Definitely.
All right. Question number 2. Whether it be genre, individual artist, or group, what is on Feldman's playlist, his go-to playlist for music?
Man, it's like it's a combination between freestyle music. I love freestyle music like Stevie B and all those people, Debbie Deb and people like that. It's a combination between that and classic rock, man. I like both of it. It depends what I'm in the mood for. I really like everything, man. I diversify a lot. I'm getting more into country music now. It's weird as I'm getting a little older. Get more into country music, man. It's kind of chill, and my wife listens to it a lot. But I'd say freestyle is where it's at right now. For
Have
me,
you ever been to a country concert?
I have not. I'm
It's
actually
it's
going to one. I just bought tickets for. They're doing it's called Country Barefoot Fest in Wildwood, New Jersey. 2 days after I get back from the Biloxi event, my wife wants to go. I think there's some really big people musicians on that show. I can't remember. I know Leonard Skinner's on there. I know
okay.
there's some Brad Paisley. I think there's some really good musicians on that. So I'm going to experience my first country concert.
Well, it's definitely an interesting experience. Let me tell you that. A few years ago, my wife took me to one. I think it was like Dirks Bentley. I've never been into country. I went because I love her, of course, and I wanted, happy wife, happy life type shit. But I don't know if I could ever do it again, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's just not for me. I'm not hating on
I
anybody.
wish you would have told me that yesterday.
Well, you'll see a lot of flannel. Let's just say that. Question number 3.
Uh,
If it has nothing to do with combat sports or training or anything like that, what was to be the sport that you would either participate or like to watch?
Say that one more time. You broke
Like
up.
your favorite sport to either participate in or to watch
Man, I love.
outside of combat sports?
Oh, I was going to say I love
Yeah.
fighting. I do through and through. Football, man. I like football. I really like. I like watching football. I like playing football. I like having to catch with it. So I'd say football definitely.
Okay, so being from Pennsylvania, I'm hoping to God you say the right team.
I'm not going to say the right team for you. I don't think
Who's your team?
my team is the Eagles.
Bam! Fly,
Okay, good.
Eagles, fly, brother.
I would have lost a bet because I would have swore you said the Steelers.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
sir. Boy,
Eagles all day, man, all day.
yes, sir. My uncle or my cousin made me watch those god awful stars all the time when I was growing up. So I watched Randall Cunningham, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, that team right there, and I'm like, all right, I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah,
Been that way ever
absolutely,
since.
man. Absolutely, all the way, man.
There you go. I like you even more now.
There you go.
Question number 4. When you're not doing the combat sports and you're not doing the business world, what's your favorite hobby when you're kicking back?
Man, I love working out, man. I just love working. It gets me going every day. I love doing that, but I recently more and more I love just chilling in my backyard, having a couple of beers with my neighbors and my wife, and playing cornhole, man. I'm actually getting really really good at cornhole now, man.
Hey,
So I
throwing them
like that.
ringers now, huh?
Yeah, man, I am, man. I'm getting them holes, man.
Well,
So
we
that's
always look for the right hole to put it in, right? He's like, don't incriminate me like that.
I'm telling you, man.
All right, fifth and final question in rapid knockout because I see that we got one more question from the viewers. When you were growing up, whether it be the sports and entertainment side or the personal side, who was your favorite role model?
My mom. A lot of people don't know. My mother was when I was 6 years old. She was beaten up really badly and put into a wheelchair, and she was a quadriplegic for the rest of her life.
Mm.
And here's a woman who couldn't move her arms or legs. I mean, her hands were like this. She went to college. She got a bachelor's degree. She got a master's degree. She actually, I want to see if you can see this. I'm going to show everybody this real quick. She painted that picture right there with a paintbrush in her mouth. So
Wow.
she's my role model, 100%. She's the reason why I don't quit. I go, if I decide I'm going to do something, I do it and I don't quit. And sometimes, you get hard days. And this kid I'm doing something for, Austin Beltrani, I don't know if you saw that, but he got both of his, a quarter of both of his arms cut off and one of his feet cut off. And I'm raising money to help help him and help him actually get hands so he can, get prosthetic hands. So I'm doing a lot of stuff for that. But it's like these guys when shit's going bad, and I'm like, man, I got it great, man. I got it great. You know what I mean? My mom couldn't basically feed herself. She couldn't move. She couldn't do anything. She could never walk. And when I'm like, I got it really good, man. So that's the kind of shit that gets me going, and that's 100% my role model. Always was and always will be for the rest of my life.
Well, that's definitely showed you your determination and, like you said, your no quit attitude for sure.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I could only imagine. I can't imagine, but that's as far as I can get with it.
yeah. No, absolutely. So that's it.
All right, we got one more question from somebody you may or may not know. It's Brittany Carreno. She owns BeeLit Organics. She's asking a favor. She says, "Hey Dave, y'all sure do like to use my likeness after the Zion fight." And I think she's talking about the picture that she's doing this. Send me some tickets to the November fight for my birthday. She's the biggest female fan of BKFC. So I had to throw that out there for her.
Okay, Brittany. So here's a message for Brittany. Brittany, I know that you're a supporter of Bare Knuckle and you like BKFC. And I know that you've also, I'm just going to call you out on this. I know you also talk some shit on us. So you stop talking shit on me. I promise you I'll give you 2 good tickets to November.
There you go, Brittany. There you go. All right. David Feldman.
I see everything, just so you know. I see the good and the bad. People don't think I am, but I just want to see who's around. But no hard feelings at all, Brittany, man. I know that you always support combat sports. You support our fighters. So no hard feelings at all. But absolutely, I can take care of that. Dan, thank you so much for bringing me on, for the partnership with Karma and everything that you've done to support everything, man. I'm glad to be on this show. Whenever you want me or any of the fighters on, let me know.
I greatly appreciate it, sir. If you got any shout outs to give out, let them know. Let them know now.
I mean, just really want to thank my sponsors, man, and really my team, man. Nate Shook, my son Dave Jr., Rob Brazis. My team is like the best team that there really is, man. We're all trying to push each other up the hill. And thanks to all the fighters for making us the #1 combat sports promotion in the world.
You heard it there. Mr. David Feldman, the owner of the BKFC, joins DaLion here at Combat Zone. You can catch all the happenings out at bwsports1.com. And for Dave, and I'm DaLion, this is Combat Zone, and we're out. Peace.